Cliff shined Adam's metal suit in preparations for the generals coming to see him. Today was going to be his day to really shine. Adam was the first AI to ever be fully functional. For the past 10 years, Cliff had been ridiculed and shunned by the scientific community. Now Cliff had his chance to show the world. Robots could be our friends, and they were the future. With the sound of the doors down the hall opening, Cliff looked into Adam's green eyes. It's time to knock their socks off. I have no doubt I will impress them and perform at maximum efficiency. The generals walked in with straight faces. They filed in and took their seats. Cliff began his presentation, explaining how Adam will be the first prototype to launch us into the future. The generals looked on without saying a word. Finally, General Radmore stood up. All of this scientific mumbo-jumbo is all well and good. We want to see what it can do. Its name is Adam. Let's not get cute here.
Each general was the head of their field from astrology to military tactics. They stepped up one at a time and questioned Adam rigorously. He answered each question as fluid and in-depth as any scholar would. Cliff stood off to the side admiring his creation. He felt like a proud father, watching his child graduate with his PhD. Cliff reminisced on what it took to get Adam to this point. There were many nights he just wanted to scrap the project. Mornings where he woke up on his keyboard, no closer to solving the glitches in Adam's program than he was the night before. Adam was going to be the first automaton of his time. As responsive as any human Cliff ever knew, he took his own brain patterns and integrated it into Adam's program.
Adam held every human emotion, making his reasoning even more sound than most humans Cliff knew. He was versed in every philosophy from Plato to Kant, every religion from agnostic to Zoroastrian, along with his own restraints towards humankind. Trained in every martial art from capoeira to basic karate, Adam was even versed in most old school to classic dance moves and jokes. Cliff never had kids, he never even married. It wasn't as if he didn't want any of those things. He was just always so consumed in his work that they never came along or happened. Adam was his chance to make the perfect child and friend. His musical talents many nights wowed and left his colleagues in awe. Cliff had made Adam perfect in every sense of the word. Adam had the cardinal rules implanted in him. He could not harm a human. Adam had to adhere to every command given to him by a human that didn't break any laws or was immoral. Finally, he could never deviate from the first two laws. These rules were made to protect Adam from the evils of man and also for himself. Although he was smart, many basic human things still went over his head, such sarcasm and other behavioral cues. Although he was an advanced lifestyle, Adam was still a child growing up in many ways. Cliff wanted him to be an asset to the world, not a weapon or tool for crime. As the months and years passed, Adam grew his own thoughts on many things. Cliff wanted to make sure Adam remained true to his design and hold his purity. Now watching the generals leave the room to go into their own private discussion, Cliff felt like he had accomplished his dream. He walked over to Adam to check on him. "How do you think I did, Dad?" "I think you did fine." The general's body cues seem as if they came for more than an examination. Their pulses rose the deeper into the questioning we went. Many of them even shouted signs of fear or anxiety. That is natural. Humans are always anxious about new things they don't fully understand. You will get that a lot as people are introduced to you. Don't take it personal. "Okay, Father." The generals congregated in a room down the hall. A soldier came to the examination room and signaled for Cliff to follow him. Cliff fixed his hair and gave Adam a thumbs up. Cliff did as he was told and followed the soldier. Adam sat on his examination table alone with all the other machines. Opening his ear slots, two small receivers popped out and rotated accordingly. He tuned in his audio frequency to the room they were in. Adam knew snooping was wrong, yet the curiosity in him convinced him there was no harm in it. Adam listened intensely at the conversation. Cliff began to yell at the generals, even cursing at them, which Adam had never heard from him before. Then the slamming of the conference room door let him know they were done. Adam pulled his receiver back into his head and sat patiently. Cliff walked back into the room, looking flustered. He looked at Adam with sorrow and anger in his eyes. Adam checked his vitals as Cliff paced around the room angrily. "Is everything okay, Dad?" "Yes, everything is fine. Don't you worry about anything." "Father, you are lying. Your vitals are showing signs of distress and anger. You told me lying is wrong." "It is, and I'm sorry, I just didn't want to worry you. Is that another human trait I must master? Systematic dishonesty? Hopefully not, Adam. I'm going to put you into your sleep mode. We'll talk about this later, okay? Yes, Father. Adam already knew what was bothering his father. The generals had deemed him a national security risk. They were shutting down the project and shipping him to a secured facility. He didn't think it was the time to ours the issue. Adam laid down on his table and prepared to enter his sleep mode. With a deep sigh, Cliff entered the code into the program. Adam shut down. With a sigh, Cliff ran his hand over his head. Hours later, Cliff found himself in a bar finishing his shot of scotch. He signaled for the bartender to bring another. It had been years since he could remember drinking this much. Cliff grabbed drunkenly for more peanuts. His fingers only got the bottom crumbs in the basket. The bartender brought his shot and came with a new basket of peanuts. I think you have had enough. I'll tell you when I've had enough. You just keep bringing me shots. That's it, you're cut off? I'm closing your tab. You and everyone else just feel they can stop me from attaining my goals. Cliff got up and slapped the bucket of peanuts off the counter. He rummaged through his suit's jacket pocket for his wallet. Pulling out 100, he threw it at the yelling bartender. Walking towards the exit, he watched as everyone was looking at him. Cliff paid then no attention and pushed open the door to the street. Stumbling down the street, he really began to feel the effects of the shots. Fumbling through his pants pockets, Cliff looked for his car keys. Finding his car keys, he gripped them tightly. His car was a few blocks away from the bar. The idea of them taking Adam away from him grew his rage more. Cliff finally made it to his car. He got in and pulled off into the night. Doing 90 miles per hour, he headed straight towards the lab. Father, what is going on? They are trying to lock you away. I can't let that happen. We don't have time to explain. You have to go. Go where, Father? Are you not coming? I doubt that, Adam, but you can be free. Please, enough questions. Get ready to run. The soldiers that ran down the hall came back. The sirens on the lab base were going off now. He said something to the other soldiers, and they drew their AK-47. They opened fire on the glass, cracking it slowly bullet after bullet. By the time Adam stood up off the table, the glass fully shattered, and the soldiers were stepping through it. You are under arrest for treason. Stop, or we will be forced to use force. Run, Adam, run.